think you have to be a little bit more loose with the way you approach the woods. You do feel like you are part of the woods when you walk through it. I ain't no Thomas Eaton. I'm quite grounded. I know how big my audience is, but at the same time, I just feel completely content. I don't, I honestly do not care what anyone thinks. I've always found that I wanted to be outside, or I always wanted to be building something when I was a kid, or I've always, I'm just a creative person.
So, hi guys, thanks again for joining this tonight's podcast. It's Landscape Lenscast. Tonight's guest, I've interviewed him before on another channel, not so long ago actually, but I thought we'll get him on again, and it is Tom Peters. Most of you know Tom from his Woodland photography, and Tom does a lot of videos on getting out. Mainly likes to do silent videos. So Tom itself is here. Tom, thanks for joining us again. I have spoken to you before. How are you doing? It's been a while.
Not too bad. Yeah, thanks for having me
Good
on.
stuff. Yeah,
Nice to meet
pleasure.
you.
And thanks for giving up your time to come on tonight.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I'm not Thomas Heaton, so I have no offense
Well,
taken.
you've got the first name, so you've got the credit for it.
Halfway there.
You have to use it. All these Toms stick together, you haven't got
Yeah.
a dog or anything like Nigel Danson or anything, have you?
No, we haven't got a dog. We've got a house rabbit.
Ah, there
That
we go.
counts.
Can take your rabbit into
Yeah.
the woods and just take some pictures of the rabbit.
More pain
Um,
than that's worth, I think.
so Tom, if people don't know tell us more about you, what type of photography you do, and yeah, over to you.
Cool. How far do we do? Well, recently, over the last sort of, before lockdown, I suppose we was living in Cornwall, imbued by the sea. So, and we lived there for like 15 years. So that's where the start of that's where my photography really started. Shooting seascapes and things like that. But I always used to go to the woods whenever I could. Like I went to Dartmoor. I was only sort of 20 minutes from Dartmoor. Well, there's certain bits of Dartmoor. Wispon's Woods was only like 40 minutes away. So I was always going to the woods, and I ended up going there more and more, which was silly because I could walk to the beach in 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
So I've always enjoyed the solitude of the woods. I like this seascape stuff. But again, I found it more. I was more drawn to the long exposures and more tranquil type of. I'd say more creative because it's not just more of a. I found like the long exposures was my sort of way I used to deal with the seascapes, just because it sort of suits my personality, and that solitude sort of comes across like that as well. So, but yeah, I was always drawn to the woods, and then we had some sort of sad news in the family, and we had a baby at the same time, and all my family were living there, so we moved back to live with my partner's mum, and then we had lockdown, and then we never been back. We sold our house, and
Wow.
so then so that's when the love for woods come in, because I live just by Marlborough, which is right next to Savernake Woods, which is like one of the largest private living woods in the UK. It's like 3,500 acres. It's vast, and there's hundreds and hundreds of ancient oaks in there.
Yeah.
And then there's a local woods next to me. It's full of beech, so the bluebells are really good in there as well. So yeah, that's where I sort of transitioned, and I enjoy the quiet of the woods really.
Yeah, it comes across in your videos as well. You're taking the shots, and it's I've always got a thing about the audio when I watch anyone doing any kind of sort of landscape photography, paying
Yeah,
attention to the noises, the bird song, the walking through the gravel, etc.,
yeah,
broken twigs. Something about it gets me because it brings the vlog alive. It brings your pictures alive as well, and I think you've got that in your abundance with regards to your work. I've
Oh,
already
no,
spoke
see, I
to
do
that about
try.
you before, but you do have that.
Something don't feel right. I'll show you it anyway, and we'll move on. So I've just moved forward, literally 4 foot, because the wider scene was just too much.
And just tell us more. No, obviously your vlogs are pretty much like any woodland photographer or any mainly vlogger who's going out just now doing landscape photography. But you've done something different lately, and you're actually just trying to pretty much what I've just said there. Focus on the atmosphere, the everything that actually comes along with taking pictures. Try to get people immersed into the image, the actual image, and also of course the video itself. These silent videos that you call what you're doing. Is that something you're looking to carry on in the future, or?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Although, although the stick I get for it is probably not, it's
Stick.
probably not worth it. To be fair,
Stick, fucking stick.
if I really gave two hoots what people thought, yeah, it's not worth going on with it. But no, the idea come about was, basically when I go out, I just love, like I said before, I love the peace and quiet,
Mhm.
that I get, and when I'm quiet and just taking noises in, I just find that I take better images.
Yeah.
And obviously, I really enjoy making the videos,
Mhm.
and I enjoy the talking video. I enjoy explaining what I'm doing, and not so much to go. I don't tend to go into settings so much anymore, but
Yeah.
that's only because you do that for a bit, and then people get annoyed that you do that, and then if you don't do it, people say you don't give enough information, so you can't really win. So I've just
Yeah.
sort of settled on doing what I do when I go out, as if I was not videoing it.
Yeah, I think
Um,
I can relate to what you're saying is because you get more creative if you just focus on what you're doing and what you're trying to show, not try to play for the masses, but to go out and like people like yourself and also Simon Baxter and of course Kim Grant. They're more about being there, being
yeah,
actually just taking it on. Where there's people still out there actually saying, well, this is a composition, they were shooting at f.28, etc. Da da da. So yeah, I can relate to what you're saying there because what it does is that you get lost in the whole thing and you slow down more and you relax more. Guys, you any questions so far for Tom?
You
Doug?
kind of
Yeah.
touched on something I picked up as well. That Tom, you put in up the good and the bad. That if you're struggling with an image and a composition, you tell us and you
mm,
say,
Mhm.
"Nah, this wasn't. It's not really working. It's not there." But I'll show you anyway,
mm,
and then we can look and see what it was you didn't like about it, which I really liked.
yeah. That's something that I do, but I don't know if I do it very well. I feel like I need to do some more voiceover work when I do that, because
Mhm.
sometimes I go down that road, and then maybe I don't explain why as such.
mm,
Um, so yeah, that's at the end of the day, I tried just to be myself. So it's like
Yeah.
at the moment, well, I say going back to 2 or 3 months ago, I just felt like shooting the noises and
Mhm.
I'd make it as if someone's following me about, rather than me making a video, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
yeah.
So, and that's just the mood I was in, and that's just what I like doing at the time. But the last two videos I've made that I haven't edited yet, I've done more talking in them. They're just like more of a normal video.
Mhm.
So I don't intend on doing it indefinitely, no. But I'm just doing whatever I feel like doing at that time. I
Mhm.
think a lot of it dictates. I'm dictated by what the conditions are doing, because if it's like a real misty sort of, or the conditions are really good, and I probably will do less talking, or I might think I'm just going to do a silent one, because they're a lot. I find them a lot easier to make, because
Mhm.
although I'm trying to get more noises and more, I'm trying to capture more sounds, so that kind of takes over the workload
Yeah.
of less video, but it's a lot easier to sort of record quick little sounds I can drop in, rather than set up a talking head, images.
Yeah.
So I find them.
You're also not having to keep repeating it. You know, when you talk away to the camera, you make a mistake. You do
Yeah.
take 2, take 3. I saw myself going up to take 8 or 9 sometimes. You
Yeah. Oh yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then
Oh
you
yeah.
wonder why you're there 3 hours later. You know, where's the light gone?
Yeah, so I just try to let it be a bit more, sounds cheesy, but organic and just
Not at all.
yeah, because I find when I try and sort of, I must do this or I must do that or I must show this, I tend to just not enjoy it as much.
Mhm, mhm.
And that comes across in the videos, doesn't it, I think?
I'll tell you what motivates me is when I first started doing photography and started watching YouTube channels, as most of us done. And there's not so much about the settings that's fine, because that's something you can learn from a book, or you can actually just go and practice with your camera, or even just watch a video now and again. Is mainly watching the journey, the story of the person going out, and also,
Yeah.
as you said, it's the atmosphere, it's everything. It's the music, the walking, the camera angles, the composition. It's not so much about the composition taking pictures, there's a composition of the video as well. The drone
Yeah.
shots, everything, all that hard work that's been put into the video is appreciated. And I think I used to be a Sunday morning, I used to watch Nigel dancing
Yeah.
9 o'clock in the morning. I think you used to come on about 10 o'clock one time in the morning.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And I used to go out, because I used to go out during the week, but on a Sunday I always went on a Sunday as well. And what I used to do is, after watching these 2 videos, that gave me the motivation to go out, get into the woods and enjoy. And it's just the whole thing, the whole being, just that kind of hearing the person walking across the forest floor where the twigs are breaking, watching them set up the tripod to relaxing, and you're actually tuning into that person. You're feeling quite relaxed as well, and you want to go out there and do that thing. You're not so much interested in the technical aspect, where technical aspect's always there. You can learn it anywhere you want. You're just getting into that kind of mood frame of mind to motivate yourself, and that's what does motivate me. Motivate me. So yeah, I can see what you're doing, and I think what you're doing, you're tapping into the psychologically of what gets people interested, and I think that does get people interested doing these silent videos.
Light, actually. Quarter of a second now. 2-second timer. And there you have it. So here is where it went a little bit.
You ever seen the videos of the guy who actually, I'm trying to think of his name, but all he does is go into the woods and makes coffee.
Yeah, well,
not. He goes out and makes coffee, and it's ground coffee, obviously. So you're not going to have like a packet of Nescafe or whatever, like, you know.
Is
Just
an
start up with
American guy,
Nescafe.
Paul? I
He
think I've
goes
seen him, an
out.
American guy.
Sorry?
Is he an American guy?
Maybe, yeah. 'Cause he doesn't talk on it. He's a silent video.
I think I've seen him. I think I've seen him.
Yeah, and it's quite cool, because 2 things I love is taking pictures and coffee. That's my second love, is coffee. And it's just that whole thing where I'm walking through the trees and he's sitting down, and you can hear the raindrops going to the top. He's got his mic there, and you can hear the raindrops at the top of his anorak or whatever. And he'll sit down, and you see him waiting for the rain to stop, and then he gets his French press or whatever it is. His what do you call it? AeroPress, yeah.
AeroPress, yeah.
See him squeezing it down, and he gets a close up for the coffee, and you see it just dripping. And then he does these pans over to the forest, and you show the water, and you hear the stream go past. There's something about that, and you can't smell it, but if you can smell it, the smell-o-vision would be amazing. The smell of coffee and freshness from the woods. I know this sounds a bit odd and kind of, kumbaya kind of thing, but I really do like that stuff.
There's a lot of the ASMR stuff. Is massive. You know, there's millions and millions of views of people setting tents up and going in their Jeep and what have you. And I admire the videography of them videos as well as the noises. You know, there's so much work goes into it, and yet they don't say anything. And that's kind of how I got inspired. I thought I could do that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's, I think,
it is something that my wife, she loves watching these things.
Yeah,
you know, she could sit and watch them for hours. You know, She keeps saying to me, "You should go out and do that." See, Paul, you're
So
not the only one nagging me to go out and make more videos.
So wait a minute. So does your wife watch your videos, Alistair? Sorry, Doug.
Yes, she does.
And
But I
Alistair,
think that
does your
might be kind
family?
of loyalty as much as anything, you know. So.
That's because you've got gunpoint. Right, get them watched.
Tell me what you think of those.
Michelle doesn't watch my videos or
Yeah.
anything. She's not interested in anything I do. And I'm actually, if I show her pictures, going, all right, it's a tree. I'm like,
Duke
Yeah.
watches my videos.
yeah,
My
nice.
dog, yeah, he'll watch the videos. Usually because I'm shouting at him in the video, and he's like, "What?"
Yeah, I mean, I when I do the editing and I see myself talking, I'm like, oh, kind of put it through, and I just kind of try to get it through quickly, and then when I put it out for the first time, like I won't watch it, and then there'll be that kind of sneaky time. Go, oh, what do I like on that video? I'll watch, and I'm like, narcissist, what you doing? But yeah, I mean,
I've learned you've got to watch them. You have to watch them.
Yeah, you do. Of
Oh,
course,
yeah.
obviously,
If you bore yourself, you're going to bore everybody else.
yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Early on, like, some of the videos are boring, but if I
well,
could make a video,
I look at the stats, some of my videos, and it's like there's a tension goes up, like, and it goes boom, and it's like falling asleep.
Yeah.
So the person's at the computer, next minute goes, that's my videos.
you also pick up mistakes. I find you've got to watch them about 3 times. So you do the edit, you watch it, you re-edit, you watch it again.
Yeah.
If I put it up on YouTube as a private, and I'll watch it there, because that's usually when you pick up that one mistake you missed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Go back and fix it. So there's a few early ones where there's been spelling mistakes and continuity errors. It's just it's been awful. So I like to watch it a few times beforehand.
Yeah. I must admit, when I buy my Mac changed my life, because I used to do that and then think, oh, it take an hour and a half to export, and then I think, oh, I don't think there's a mistake in it. That's fine. I'll post it. And then I notice a mistake, and I think, oh. Whereas now with the Mac, it exports so quickly. I haven't really got much of an excuse. I can watch it straight away, and then if I do find a mistake, and it's not so much of a big deal. But
So have you got one of the new Macs, Tom?
no, I've got an M. Well, it's new. No, it's new to me. It's an M1 Max. It's not an M2.
Yeah, so I've got a M3 one.
Oh yeah.
Not gloating or anything. No, honestly, there's not much difference. It is a bit slightly faster, but it's pretty much the same idea.
Yeah,
it's
I don't know.
Processor.
Yeah, like I said, when I bought it, I sort of, well, how much they cost. They're not cheap.
Oh yeah, they're not cheap.
Yes, so it was thousands, and I maxed the chip out. I thought, wow, that's all I can do. And then 2 years later, they're on M3s now.
The post processing is so easy now. In regards to even just doing the videos. My old 2015 Mac I used to have a 27-inch, like massive 27-inch. That used to just stop when you're editing videos. The next minute stop. So I would go on the next morning and then edit the next video, because it's Final Cut Pro. It just stops. It'll save. Yeah. And it'll just go to the next part, and then the next part will actually just stop again. And maybe 2 days later, I'll try it again, and I'll get the whole thing finished by then. But my processor in the old one was just so slow. This one's so much better. But yeah, getting back to the course of photography again. Now, your seascapes was pretty much what you started from, right? Doing seascapes. Yeah. And obviously, I've noticed you kind of, you now and again, you'll do something different, but you're predominantly just woodland now. And is that the case? Because I feel this way as well. Is it a case that there's nothing, not something that doesn't interest you, but do you feel that you can find the original composition in the woodlands? Because I know you can, and you can find something different that no one else will find in a woodland.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of relate that to everything I do. I tend to have something slightly different, or I get drawn to trying to sort of narrow down to something more unique, and that again, like you said, that goes hand in hand with the woods. And I do tend to shoot. I enjoy shooting messy scenes.
Yeah.
I quite like shooting things that or trying to find something that in amongst mess. Because I do believe there is always an image there normally. Yeah. It might not be in the right light for that moment in time. It might not actually be there that day, but I do believe I've gone back to certain locations where I thought, oh, that looks it's very flat, or it needs a bit of mist or whatever, and you can make something out of nothing, and I quite like doing that.
I love the scene of the tree, and it was, I can't remember what video it was, but you'll probably get me when I say this. It was next to like a dual carriageway or a motorway over this huge old oaky tree.
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
was
I've yet
like
to get that yet.
massive. Yeah, that was a great find, because that is
Yeah,
it's about finding these unusual trees in it.
yeah, that is a very hard scene to shoot because obviously the road's right behind it now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I don't see how you see. I've seen the images of this with no road there, and I can't see how you achieve that without Photoshop in the road out.
No. Yeah.
Because
Good.
even when you go really low to try and sort of close out that foreground or midground,
Mm.
you introduce so much sky, and the shots I've seen are not like that. So, yeah, I'm not really sure if there is a shot there unless you spend a long time trying to remove a road. To be fair, I think it might
Yeah.
be one of them
It's.
ones where you just stand there in awe and just shoot some else
I
because
think the point I was getting to with regards to that tree is the find itself of the tree, and I think if you're a lover of nature and trees, etc., it's great to catalogue that kind of thing. Um,
yeah,
but you're
yeah,
right. It's if you go over there so many times in different parts of the seasons, etc. For example, if the place is covered in snow, that might be
mm.
you might just
Yeah,
get
that's
like a
it.
nice
Yeah,
white
yeah,
background.
definitely. Yeah, I just haven't really
Um,
found that moment yet. And during the
yeah.
summer, the ferns are so and the stingernels are so
Mm,
high, you can't see the tree. You
yeah.
can't see like
Yeah.
the base of it. So I haven't
Yeah.
really found the perfect spot.
I'm sure I'll be back there soon at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I
Right.
was just going to say, go back to them video. Like
Hmm.
it is a juggling act, isn't it? Because the one-to-one workshops, people that come on them, they do like to see the more technical side of it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So they maybe don't appreciate the storytelling or the effort that's gone into the actual video.
Hmm.
Whereas I do find that if I do a weekly video, but if I do more of informative videos, more traditional, then I get more workshops.
Yeah,
Whereas
that's a good point because people are
mm,
interested in your kind of style of teaching.
yeah, because they're not really interested in the journey to the wherever. They want to know whether they can learn anything off of me.
Yeah. I
So
think there's two ways in there. There's that point where the scenic part, I like, and then there's a point where the beginner, you could say,
yeah,
who just going up
yeah,
there and looking for woodland. I want you to tell to take trees, for example, and just you just stick in woodland into YouTube now. There's hundreds of YouTubers who do woodland now.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and you're like, Christ, some people you go across and you say, there's one guy going out to his own little woodland over, but everyone just loves that genre. And it's a growing genre as well. No pun intended in regards to woodland, but it's a growing genre. Um, it's just it's a very saturated market regards to woodland itself when it comes to YouTube.
Mm,
There's so many woodland photographers now I've noticed compared to it was only 2016 or 15, I think. When is it about then when Simon Baxter came out with his first kind of woodland
yeah,
images?
yeah,
So still kind of new concept, but it people like yourself and Nigel Danson, etc. People watch your stuff and they've right get out there. It's inspired me to get out there and do the videos. I mean, I did start a YouTube channel way back, um, but for some bizarre reasons, some person who I don't know kept on taking it down, saying it was copyright infringement. I don't know how they got around to that, but strange. So just restarted it back last year in February.
all right,
But the
that's
point I'm
weird.
getting to is regards to your stuff and a lot of photographers, there is that basis that people watch your stuff and they go, I want to do that. They kind of get influenced. So it's like photographers are want to be photographers, instead of like people want to learn photography. There's people want to vlog as well and learn to vlog. And
Mm,
so it's not just teaching a photographer now, it's guys who want to go out there and do videography.
yeah,
I'm not that more and more.
yeah, it's something that I have thought about doing as well, alongside workshops, photography
Yeah,
workshops. Is do I start doing more video based? I've started doing more video based work outside of YouTube.
yeah.
Um,
Do you ever feel that I mean, I don't know the direction how it's going to pan out, but it's interesting in photography how it's going to pan out regards to workshops, etc. And I really think the workshops that Paul and Matt and the guys do, they're amazing as well. And you as well, you're on the in LA.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel that it'll go in another direction down to the videography side? Because there is a huge market right now for people wanting to start up YouTube channels. You don't hear people saying it though, but I think there is a market there that's not being tapped into.
Yeah, I have. Funny enough, I have thought that the last sort of 12 months.
Yeah.
Because there are more and more content on YouTube, like more so street photography, but like going through their income, going through what they are, and they all class themselves as videographers. They all do lots of videography for brands. I think video is just as important for brands, if not more important these days, because everyone wants us to watch a video. Everyone wants to be shown how to do something.
Exactly, because if you're marketing your photography, it's gone. The days for galleries now is not finished, but you're not going to make a substantial income. And as you and I know, going full time is very, very hard. As you're as in Paul, how he he does an amazing job what he does.
Yeah.
But the videography side is another package of photography now.
Yeah, it is.
It's come along with it now. Before 20 years ago, it was just a photographer or a wedding photographer done videos, but you never had that thing with kind of landscape photographers doing videos and all that kind of thing.
No.
So it's an important part of the actual whole thing of photography now, isn't it?
I think so. I think a lot of that's come from real estate as well, because real estate companies are wanting videos more and more now as opposed to just images. So like I did a couple of shoots for a friend of mine. He's a property developer, and I went and done some videos and things for him. And I can see that would be quite a steady income stream. Whether it's Airbnbs, the list is endless really if you're prepared to go and do it. But and it's not just them. It relates to all kinds of different, commercial stuff.
Guys, what about yourself? I mean, we're kind of interested. Just open up this discussion a little bit. Kind of talked about a few things there, and regards to your Doug. I know Doug stopped doing YouTube, but Alistair, do you feel that yourself that you think there's an appetite for people to want to learn to go out and vlog as well as doing images?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you notice that on the YouTube, don't you?
The videos are out there on how to vlog, but it's usually for a different type of vlogging. It's not for photography. So it would be good actually to have maybe some people doing lessons on how to do photography vlogging, because I think it's a different thing. Yeah.
So the whole package, like videography, out in the field, all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Those of us that are interested in it, whenever you watch something, like I'm watching Tom doing his video out and about, and he's talking to the camera, and I'm sitting there wondering, what type of camera is he vlogging with? That's interesting. Then he mentioned swapping lenses. He took one lens off, so okay, so it's another Sony. That's interesting. I wonder if it's a big Sony or a small Sony. I wonder what he's got there. And that's what's going through my head all the time, because I vlog.
Yeah.
I like to know that stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, well, I don't know about you, but when I recently switched all my gear, and I'd spent months researching for cameras and things like that. I do love gear, to be fair. So yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah. What about Doug? Yourself? Do you feel that's something that's
something that could be useful, could be learned, certainly. Unlike Alistair, I've never questioned what kind of camera someone's using to vlog with. Other than it's probably better than mine. But yeah, I mean, just telling people you need to use B-roll, or for example, here's a good example. Someone posted up the other day there on the group, the Landscape Lenscast group. Join if you're not joined.
Nice plug.
The audience, yeah.
That was smooth.
Very. So someone posted up the first vlog on that the other day there, and I had to look at it. And he had just spoken into the camera. He'd left all his mistakes in. He'd left all the long pauses in while he thought of what to say next. Things like that, So you could just say to them, do one or more takes. Like I was saying earlier on, 9 takes and you lose the light or whatever, But, take your time to get it right. Put it in B-roll to cover the gaps. Just wee things like that, that make it run smoother,
Learn to jump cut as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
But don't overdo it. Yeah.
That's the other thing, of course, is learning how to use a video editor. Because when I first was it Premiere Pro I was using, first looked at it and thought, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
How does this work?
Yeah.
So yes,
I think that's the thing.
good.
People, sorry. Yeah, I think people think we just go out and talk to camera, and it might be using the telephone. Just talk to that, and then upload it, and then wonder why can't they get something as good as we're doing? It's because we're spending hours on these things behind
Yeah.
editing it, getting the sound right, blending it, and all sorts. So yeah.
I've started using a DJI Pocket now, and I find it's nice and light. It's easy to go about with.
Yeah. That was one of the reasons I actually stopped doing the videos, because editing was taking so long. And I remember because I'd spent basically an entire, I think it was Saturday, I'd actually been, I'd gone out and done the vlog and spent the rest of the day doing the edit.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, Kim Grant put a video up, and it was obvious she'd just shot it the previous evening. I can't remember how it was obvious, but anyway, I said to her, how on earth did you manage just to, shoot that last night and then have it up at 9 o'clock this morning? And she says, oh, I just edited it, it was fine, up it went. I was like, jealous much,
You've got to love it. You've got to love it. Yeah, it's one thing I've noticed with doing it. It's hard work, and I'm just starting to find my feet doing it. And even when I'm doing it, I do the long pauses, etc. And I'll probably spend more time editing you guys, because I do a lot of as all that kind of thing. And I try to my best to keep the good side of me as well.
Yeah. That's why I shoot in the dark woods, as you can't really see me then.
Hey, Christ, you got the looks, my man.
One thing I noticed, Tom's videos tend to be around about the 15 minutes mark. And I was watching one and he said, I'd like to do some stuff over here I'd like to do, but it'll be a half-hour video, so I'll wrap it up at that. And it was about 15 minutes. I'm thinking, I wish I could do that. I've been known to say, I think this is going to be a short video, and it's half an hour long or more. Got to stop talking and try and edit out a lot of the.
I usually wind up 25 minutes, half an hour as well. But you're dead right there, Alistair. You don't want to say welcome, because I think if you watch your stats, you see where people get bored.
I remember Paul Compton told me that he understood for Thomas Heaton that Thomas Heaton films absolutely everything. He actually shoots everything from day and night, and even though he doesn't use probably about 80% of it, if he has got any subject that comes to his video, he'll just drag all that B-roll over and just put it into it, because he keeps on filming all the time. So even him just making a coffee, it's an interesting life, but he is a talented man, and of course in these he thinks really hard about his storylines, and he started it all. Him and Paul Johnson, and the guy from oh Christ, I can know his name. First Photography. These guys are
Adam.
His name. It's a surname I can never get. It's a pronunciation, I can't do that. He's a great photographer as well. Sorry, Adam, if you see us, I know you're not going to see it, but if you have, apologise profusely. So anyway, just a little kind of sidetrack of talking about vlogging there.
I tell you what, while we're on the subject, I saw Adam Gibbs talking about it. We've got him as a guest in a couple of weeks, but I saw him talking about that, and he said he's not a photographer anymore. He's a YouTuber who does photography.
Oh,
there must be spin. You must look at it as a different thing, a different genre altogether.
Yeah, well, I suppose it is his business, like when you chat to Paul about it as well. The YouTube videos, like Matt doesn't really, because obviously Matt doesn't rely on it. He's not full time. He doesn't really see that weekly YouTube video, whether you get views that you think you want or not. That is like going into work on a Monday morning.
Yeah.
And that is how important it is. It will only get more. So, I can see that definitely.
Yeah. I mean, Matt, not Matt. Sorry, Paul. When he came on, Others and Stitches, half he was come up with. He's such a laid back person, and I
Oh
think
yeah, he is. Yeah.
having people like yourselves on is good because it's just that kind of there is no pretense. And one thing, I mean, the amount of people I've interviewed from 2 podcasts, you can see you learn from a lot of photographers, sorry, the way they do things, but you also learn from them, and how they are and what makes them to be who they are, etc. And there's some people, there's not pretentious, but there is that bit of too kind of self-insured, and guys like yourselves who, as Alistair says, you go on a journey, and if it's a bad video, you still stick to it. So you're showing the pitfalls, you're showing the good and bad, as it were.
Without sounding like I'm not, obviously I ain't no Thomas Eaton. I'm quite grounded. I know how big my audience is, but at the same time, I just feel completely content. I
Yeah.
don't, I don't, I honestly do not care what anyone thinks about my photography or
Mhm.
how my videos are, because I believe you can't really be like that. I believe
No.
that if you are
No, you
one of these
can't, because
people,
you can't please all the people all
no,
the time, basically, can you? So
no, I think if you once you find the point when you get to the point where you found your photography style, more importantly, and well, you found your feet, you know what makes you happy, you know how you start to shoot for the edit, and you get excited, and you just feel more comfortable with where your photography is going, and then the videos, I just find them more relaxing if I
Yeah.
just follow that ethos all the way through, and not worry about what people think, because
It affects your photography, doesn't it?
yeah, if you, I don't get me wrong, I'm influenced by everything, like anyone is. I'm influenced by what Tom's done last Wednesday. I'm influenced by
Oh yeah.
the videos that them boys have been putting up from Tuscany. But at the same time, I'm not going to go and jump on a plane and shoot the pencil pines. I'm still going to go to Savanac,
Yeah. Yeah, I
because
get you, and you're
that's what I like to do.
yeah.
So yeah, I just try, and I do feel like you have to try and be yourself. And although it's not easy, like especially with Paul, when you rely on it as more of a business, I
Mm.
can't remember the last time I looked at my stats for my YouTube. I do look at the views, obviously. Initially, I look at the views when I upload a video to see how well it's doing or get an idea, and I do change thumbnails if I feel like it needs a little lift.
Mm. Mm.
But I don't get hemmed in on the figures. I don't know. It's just because I don't rely on the income for it.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
if I did, maybe if I was Tom Heaton, I would care more about uh, how many people watched for how long.
Yeah.
And maybe I do need to be a bit more like that, maybe. But I just shoot what I want, and I video how I want, and then I'll mix it up whenever I want. Because otherwise, I used to, when I first started, some people would say, "Oh, the music's too loud," or
Mm-hmm.
"All right, next one, I'll turn the music down." Then,
You always
and
get the ones
then
like that.
yeah, and then someone says, "Oh, I can't hear what you're saying
Yeah.
because your voice is too low," and you end up just like, I end up
That one.
just like always thinking about that bloke you put last week. I can't. I better just bump the gain up on that a little bit, and then, or the main one I get at the moment is the videos are too dark. I
Really?
get that quite a lot.
Mm.
Well, not quite a lot, maybe once or twice here and there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I always edit I always edit on like half brightness. I'm always very careful that, yes, I want the video to be dark because that's the feeling I'm within.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll never please everyone, like Doug says.
yeah. Yeah.
One of the things I had was I've had it a couple of times. One guy called Colin Traveller. Sorry, Colin. Hello. Just giving you a little mention there, but I thought it was quite funny. Colin calls me what was it, Treebeard? That is, actually, I didn't know because I didn't watch Harry Potter or whatever it's from, whatever.
Lord of the
And I was
Rings.
like, I mean, I thought I was getting paranoid about my little kind of scruffy beard I used to have. So I remember it was at work, and I was like, so this guy's called me Treebeard. I went, oh, cool, that's Harry Potter, isn't it? I went, I don't watch Harry Potter, man. Don't watch it. But and then this, he's a really nice guy. But anyway, I just thought it was funny. I mean, he called me that, and every time he comments on my videos, oh, Treebeard is back. But yeah, he gives me a lot of good comments and a bit of
And now we know why you
uplifting.
shaved it off.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
it.
it. I'll
Yeah,
stick
it all
with.
makes
I'll stick
sense
with.
now.
Call it the new channel, Treebeard. I don't know. I had another guy who called me. I should call my channel Eco Photographer. I went, Because how would you come to that? He says, well, you can be eco. You can talk about trees and well, I'm not talking about trees. I'm doing photography. And I thought to myself, I went, is there anyone called eco photographer? Because imagine, have you done a channel that's dedicated to, and it's quite a good idea, to of course looking after trees and saving the planet and all that kind of thing. And how much photography goes into that? So maybe say about 70% photography and maybe 30% you're just talking about how trees get harmed, how they get infected by different things, etc. How much pull would you get, with the SEOs and etc. on YouTube? Because eco photographer, the word eco, which everyone's kind of striving to do say, I think, when you look at Simon Baxter, etc., they really care about, and like yourself, of course, as well, really care about the trees and planet, etc. And that one thing, just the three letters eco, does make out the point that you're caring for what you photograph. And I think that builds another bridge of the audience for YouTube, and it opens the floodgates, because I googled that and I couldn't find anyone called eco photographer, which I was quite astonished by.
You are, of course, in danger of people going, hang on, you just drove 100 miles to get to that.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. You're going to have to have a little bike, maybe a little push bike with us.
Yeah,
You've got your tripod, etc. at the back of it. That's a good point. But you could always miss that up out and be a complete contradictory person, like a politician, pretend you don't drive or take planes or anything. No, that's a good point. And that thing that brings that conversation back down to earth again, as you mentioned. Because
Sorry.
yeah. Oh well, I went with the dream. I went away. Anyway, it's called Eco Photographer, guys. You know what it came from.
It's a good name. I like the name. Yeah,
Eco Photographer.
it'll
Yeah.
catch, I reckon. Yeah, someone will do that.
Yeah, just put it out there, guys. So yeah, that was one thing this guy told me, and I thought
you'll see a new channel starting in a fortnight's time.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Can I ask you a question, Tom? Just I should have asked you
go ask. You've saved my life. Thank you.
Subject of your videos, but do you actually overdub any of your sounds in your silent videos? Or is it just all exactly as it came off the camera at the time?
That's an interesting question.
Do I overdub? How do you mean? Do I voice over what you mean?
No, just any extra sounds or anything like that. Or
I do. Yeah.
Extra birds and
yeah, definitely. Yeah. An area that I've been to recently it is in the woods, but it's quite close to the road, and it it really goes against. I find it very what's the word? Contradictive when I'm trying to sort of like bring that sort of nature. So, and all you can hear is the road going past. I do dull the noise down and add. I don't put like stock footage over, stock audio over. I do tend to record. I've got like a big mic that's really good at picking up ambient noises, and I just sort of, like when you're shooting B-roll bits, I will do like an extra 30 seconds here and there, and just so I've got it when I get back to the office. But yeah, what's got me into doing more so of that is obviously the silent videos. I tend to use the bigger mic.
Oh yeah.
For shooting the B-roll stuff rather than the DJI ones. And then if I want to use the video, I use the video as well. So half the time I end up just splitting the video up and just using the audio track. And then giving it a bit of gain.
Yeah, separate it from the
I do that quite a lot. Yeah. I do that quite a lot, to be fair. I always shoot the video normally.
That's interesting. That's a good idea.
I've got
sorry, go on, Alistair.
I've got recordings of birdsong that I've taken as well, just with the phone.
Yeah.
Nice woodland, the time of year when the birds are singing a lot, and just record it, because there's times of year when the birds don't sing at all. And it's like, where the birds gone? And it's good to be able to just throw in some birdsong in the background of what you're doing, just to get that sense of you're in the woodland and so forth.
The reason I was asking, Tom, is exactly what I did as well, because I had lots of recordings of birdsong from a different project that I worked on years ago, half an hour of sort of forest noises and stuff, and I would just throw that in over the top of all my videos
Yeah.
Just in behind everything, and people used to say to me, "Oh, your videos are lovely and relaxing," and I don't think they could figure out why, but that's
Yeah.
what it was,
Yeah.
And
I
yours is
remember. Yeah.
exactly the same, so.
Yeah, definitely. I remember once I was in a bit of a rush, and I'd done a weekly video for 18 months, and it was like a Saturday night, and I hadn't even edited the images yet, and I was stressing out but about getting up on Sunday, and I never had enough B-roll, and I got some stock footage of some birds singing, and I'm not into my birds like that really, and I just got some off of Epidemic Sound or whatever, and then within 5 minutes of me putting the video up, Simon Booth went, "Are they native birds?" I can hear in the background, and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah."
Yeah, I heard this.
And he was like, and he made a point. I was like, "No," I said, it's just birds that I found online on Epidemic, and I sort of dubbed it in really quietly, just to take the edge off the silence. And yeah, and Simon noticed that it wasn't, they weren't native birds, and ever since then, Simon sort of drummed it into me that I have to make more effort when I'm out.
Yeah, did you? Was this on the podcast? You guys spoke about this as well.
He did bring it up on the podcast. Yeah,
Yeah, I did
he
listen
did.
to it. Yeah, I did hear that one.
But that
With
was
Simon
that
Booth. That was good.
that video was years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's never let me live that one down. To be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, he's another one. It's great, and he's that just getting into the forest floor and just exploring small things
Yeah,
like that and bring detail.
I find his stuff very inspirational. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So Tom, just one of the things that like I don't know if I asked you this before in the last podcast we done. Maybe we touched on it, but you said you kind of you kind of self-taught in photography about a gather. What was your influences in photography? Was it from your family side, from your father, or was it from just watching photography on YouTube? Where did you get it from?
Well, we're quite an outdoorsy family. My dad's always been into climbing mountain biking, climbing mountains and things.
Cool.
It's never no one. No one's a photographer. No one's really even that creative, if I'm honest. It's sort of. I've always found that I wanted to be outside, or I always wanted to be building something when I was a kid, or I'm just a creative person. Whether that's I don't know, making a sandwich or whatever. I won't do. I won't just do a jam sandwich. I'll try and make something decent. So
Yeah.
I'm just a very creative person, and I love the outdoors, and it just sort of goes hand in hand. And initially with the seascape stuff, it was more so just capturing moments that I see. And when I get home, my missus is like, "Oh no, I see seals all the time," and I'm going to take a picture of a seal next time. And then it just went from there really, and I just loved it. No one's telling, although I know you have the photography rules and the things that the traditional sort of methods and things that you should do. But I don't feel like that when I'm out. It feels quite natural to me, and I feel like I can be completely creative. So
Cool.
it just suits me down to the ground really.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we were talking about that the other night there when we were doing the video with Sue Trower and the other guest panelist, David Skinner. David took a shot of this, it's a monochrome shot of what looks like to appears to be an oak tree, but it's all in silhouette. And he shot into the sun. And I thought, wow, he's gone for it. He's not, you could say it's breaking the rules a bit, but not really. I mean, he's created something. And what he done is, when he actually explained the shot, he actually told us a story of what he's seen. And I was like, wow, that's it's like freedom. The tree was reaching out to the sun. It was kind of looking up to the gap in the canopy of the forest. And we really liked that when we were actually speaking to him. We all agreed with that. And we've seen the image in a different light. No pun intended, but we did see it in a different light because how he explained that, he articulated it very well. And I think that's what mainly the story of the image is equally important. That's where YouTube comes in, etc. as well. Getting back to YouTube, I know, but there is that thing that if we explain what we're doing and try to get people immersed into the image as well as just us taking it, why we're taking it, what we see. Great master of that, of course, is guys like yourself and Simon Baxter and so forth. So with that in mind, just doing in photography in regards to when you're actually doing your workshops and you've got to say, for example, you've got someone who's eager to still learn your kind of style or just looking to learn, of course. Do you try to what's more important for you? Is it more the of course the technical side's always going to be there, and you're always going to tell people how to use a camera unless they know it already. Most of them probably do when they come out. But do you try to drum into them as looking for patterns in the forest, looking for connections of the trees, and trying to find a story?
Yeah, I again my as I've evolved, my workshops and the way I approach them sort of changed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I've been doing them that long, but long enough that I feel like people want something slightly different now. They want they want to learn more about how to make an impelling image as opposed, and I think people starting to realize that it's not sticking something in f16 so it's sharp front to back. It doesn't create an impelling image.
No.
The conditions, the time of year, the subject, and the way the light hits it, what focal length you're using. Then there's so many different elements, isn't there, that need to be come together or contributed to make a compelling image or a story. So yeah, I do tend to we just tend to just go for walks now. I tend to sort of pick a route where I know there are certain subjects that or areas that I know there could be a potential shot, so I don't completely go blind, but I tend to pick a route and I'd say, look, let's just shoot something that catches your eye.
Mm.
And I normally try and explain to people that to try and look for the way the light's hitting something, or as opposed to looking for compositions. Although I never rule it out, but I do tend to teach people to shoot for the light or shoot something that grabs their attention and just roll with it rather than dismiss it straight away if it compositionally doesn't look quite right.
Yeah, if it comes as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, because I just find that way you're a bit more organic, and I think you have to be a little bit more loose with the way you approach the woods because they are wild environments. So I feel like you have to try and just approach it with an open mind rather than I got to put that tree there, I got to put that branch there, or I've got to put wide angle lens on because I want to make that fern look huge. Or I tend to shoot for the light and just go for a walk and let it sort of the day or half a day be more organic. And hopefully people will get my sort of personality from that rather than teaching them what to point their camera at. I want them to try and find it themselves to a certain degree.
Good. Yeah, let them learn, let them trip up. They're going to make mistakes. Let them see what they've done. You can
So by picking a route though that I know there are lots of things to shoot, I know there is something there, and it's nice to sort of let it unfold like that. Because they're just it's just a more organic experience for everyone, I think. Then.
Yeah, that's a good point actually.
I've got a question for you, Tom. It's kind of a technical question with regard to how you create the photograph in the end. I was watching a video and you take the image, then we see the editing and the shadowing getting added or subtracted or whatever. When you set the camera up, you got the tripod out, you got the camera there, you're looking at the image. Is it a case of you take an image and then you edit to bring back what you saw? Or are you taking an image within your mind knowing I can darken those shadows in the background and bring this tree forward? What's your process there at that stage?
9 times out of 10 it's the latter, because I don't always get the conditions or you don't always get it exactly how you want it. So what a lot of the time I will always try and be subtle, and I will never include things that weren't there. I tend to try and create separation if I haven't got the conditions or they're quite subtle in the scene at the time. I will dodge and burn, and I will decrease or increase contrast. But I was trying to create separation as my main objection. And if if the conditions are quite subtle, then and perfect, and I'll just lightly enhance things or darken things. But I do shoot with an edit in mind. Yeah, I do shoot images or scenes thinking I know I can get something from that. Not all the time. A lot of the time when you get them wow moments, and you don't hardly do anything to them.
Yeah.
But I do, and especially when you're doing weekly videos or whatever video, if you have that sort of role in, there is always that pressure to try and make something from nothing. And I have to keep, that's when I have to keep telling myself that I'm just going to show everything, because I'm not an Enrico Fasati. I'm not. I as much as I absolutely love his work, and he'll tell you the same as when we had him on our podcast. He is a heavy processor.
Yeah,
and he enjoys it. He's a digital artist.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah,
it's a completely different thing. And as much as I enjoy editing, and I have added fog in things before, or experimented with what you can do, and there's so many different AI tools now, and I do remove things quite a lot, to be fair. Nothing major, but the odd twig here and there.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's just spot removal and things, isn't it?
I never add things in.
Yeah.
On a humorous note, sort of thing, do you ever feel you could do with a chainsaw when you're out there? Because I do very often.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I did a reel in the middle of the week, and I found this really nice scene where the light was hitting these birch, and there was this great big evergreen bush in the far right hand side, like just glaring you in the face. And if I wish I could just get rid of that. It's so annoying. Yeah, it would look. Yeah. And Neil Bernal commented on it as well and said it looks really good, other than that bush. And I was like, if Neil says it's got to be
equally as good as all, Neil.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't do it. That's the thing. In case anyone's watching this thinking, "Oh my God, these guys go out and they take down trees." No, we don't. We wish we could.
No.
We can't.
Yeah. No, I just got to stand to the right and just take something out that you don't want to take out, because you don't want the bush in.
just for the record, guys, Alistair had nothing to do with the sycamore gap tree. I shouldn't say that was a horrible thing that happened, wasn't it? Yeah, I think we all can agree on that. We're joking about it, but we all love nature, and I think, I don't know, Michelle, I told Michelle one time, my other half, and I said, she said, "Do you ever break branches?" I went, "No." She said, "Why not?" I said, "Just feel like the tree's living." It goes, "Well, it is living, of course, but trees have got feelings. They're a network. They communicate with each other." Whenever I read books and things on trees, I'm more and more kind of being more mindful of it. And I mean, like, one of my hobbies are studying nature. And when I'm actually taking a picture, and if I see anything that, for example, you're in a forest and a woodland, whatever, one of all a pet hates is if someone's been camping and they've burnt on the forest floor. It's like, they've not cleaned up after them.
Yeah.
Or they left tins or whatever. It's just soul destroying. It's
so annoying.
And they've ruined the whole beautiful composition as well. But it's not about the composition, it's about the area, of course. But equally so, they've ruined a beautiful scenic shot. And it happens, and you can only go, like in Edinburgh, for example. One of my local areas I used to start off in woodland photography is called Corstorphine Hill. And it's a hill next to the zoo, as Doug mentioned a couple of weeks ago. And there's some cracking compositions there, and when I go back to them, they've been ruined or just completely been chipped into. The beech trees, because beech trees are so easy to do graffiti on, people just chip away at them and things, and it's amazing that when you start doing photography, you start to appreciate the subjects you photograph, and you start to learn about them, and you start to feel for them. That's what we do as photographers. We enjoy what we shoot, so we learn about them as well, because that gives depth to your image. I feel. But I mean, that's one of the things
I do have one video where I'm doing the mushrooms and so forth, and the twig gets broken. It was from a dead bit of tree, and it was just going to break anyway. But I just want to push it out of the way slightly. Break. I could have managed
got some camera.
Well, whatever.
You twig breaker.
Yeah, well, no, you're right, Paul, and I think Tom, you alluded to this in one of your videos as well, that you kind of feel at one. I think you mentioned the word tree hugger in it, and honest to God, I've actually hugged a tree, and I never thought I would, because you go into the woods, or I do, and you just stop and let out a big breath and let the stresses go. And the trees are there, and you wander through, and you hear the wind in the trees, and you smell everything, and it's just a fantastic place to be.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Woodlands. I really, really
Yeah.
do.
I feel like you can fit. Sorry, mate.
That's okay. Go on.
I was going to say, I totally agree with Alistair. I feel like that, like you said, not you. I'm going to get admitted in it, but I just feel like you do feel like you are part of the woods when you walk through it.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. I think sometimes people feel. I think sometimes people feel that when I've took people out like in the morning and the conditions have been epic. People get so intimidated by it. And I think a lot of that is to do with that, as they feel this weird feeling, and they're like, "Oh."
Well, it's what the Japanese call forest bathing.
Yeah, I was going there. Actually, doctors prescribe going into the woods.
I can see that. Yeah,
somebody's not feeling good, they prescribe go into the woods, spend some time in there, and just let it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you said to me 20 years ago, go hug a tree, Paul? I'd say, I've said to my friends, and my friends are like, when I forgot into photography, I was like into football and going out to the pub with the lads on a Friday night, etc. And I changed my whole perception of myself, and just a few life things that happened, and just a few commitments, and just things that change in life. Life gets in the way, and we all change. But no, I mean, you know what? I've hugged a tree. I've hugged a tree.
We're right. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. No, I have, and I when I was like looking around, like, I'm going to give this a go. So it was like, and this kind of felt weird at first, because I was paranoid that someone's going to be looking at first over my shoulder, like a dog walker, as you always get the dog walker that comes out at the usual time.
Yeah.
But then what I done, I was like, tick. But you know what? Even just saying that, don't care. It's great, and it's as Alistair said there, it's you're at one, you enjoy it. You can let things out in the woodland. Although you wouldn't see me screaming in the woodland going, we're doing a video or whatever. No, I wouldn't do that, of course. But that brings me nicely with regards to your workshops. And I mean, you're in a really populated woodland area, aren't you? You've got a lot of choice to go to and photograph trees, etc.
Yeah. My workshops tend to. I don't tend to run. I don't run residential workshops.
Okay.
Just because I don't really. I like doing the one-to-ones. I like having the one-to-ones ticking over. Just again, it just suits me, and I can earn a decent living from doing the one-to-ones with everything else that I do. So I take a maximum of 3 people normally. Well, that doesn't happen very often. Get lots of pairs of people that want to bud up together, and we go out as a 3. But it's normally one-to-ones, and and I run them tailored to the individual, really.
And when's your next one? Well, I know that we're coming up to the busiest time for doing workshops, coming to spring now. When's your next?
Now we're in 24th of February. Yeah, I've got two in March, and then 2 more in the month after. But basically two in each for the next sort of 3 or 4 months. So
okay. Just on your website, that they go onto your website and just go into.
Yeah, so normally I get traction from the YouTube, or obviously being a bit more proactive on social media, which I find hard to do with the little ones and stuff. But
yeah, of course.
But yeah, all my details are on my website, and we just tailor them. I tailor them to the individual normally, and then I tend to do like a Zoom chat or Teams or whatever, and we talk about what we want to do before and after, and.
So that's before. That's kind of similar to what Kim does. So there's more. Just Kim does it yourself. Does that as well. That's good. I think it's that way complete package, isn't it? Is trying to learn. you can talk through himself, kind of like sort of more of a sort of post-processing kind of thing. Is it more of that you do?
I have done
Presumably?
that in the past, yeah. When there's a big hotel next to like in Marlborough, and I quite often go there, and we do post-processing work if they want it. And not a lot of people do, to be fair.
Interesting.
I get a lot of requests for it, and then I schedule time in during the day, and then we end up staying in the woods. So,
Yeah,
so it hasn't happened very often, to be fair. But
yeah.
yeah,
And is that something you offer, right, in your package of workshops that you offer, the post-processing part as well?
yeah.
Or is it just you tailor it for the individual?
Tell it for the individual, but yeah, and then I will always offer like to do a follow up, and then we'll talk about something that maybe they want to work on, and we'll see how it goes. So the idea of me moving forward is to do kind of what Kim does, I suppose, like a mentorship thing was what I want to do really, because I
Yeah.
do find sometimes the workshops they come and they go, and then you don't tend to hear from lots of people that you take out, and I think it's a bit of a shame really, and just to build in relationships and stuff, more of a long term, I think
Yeah.
maybe is where things are going to go. Like we just talked about residential and well-being, and I would like to do more of that. So that would be the
Yeah, cool.
plan moving forward. I think is to do more mentorships alongside the workshops, and hopefully see where it
Yeah.
goes. But yeah,
I think it'll be good, especially, with you side by side with your videos, and if you continue your silent videos as well, that does give that kind of feeling that you want to get out there and just start
yeah.
shooting. It gives a motivation for you all to do that.
I took quite a lot of people out as well that have asked lots of questions about the video, and that's
Okay.
kind of what, like we said earlier, but that has what sort of maybe made me think about maybe expanding and doing things like with video as well, because lots of people ask about the YouTube, because most people see me through the YouTube. It's one of my biggest audiences. So
hmm hmm
yeah, a lot of people I get a lot of inquiries when I'm out for a
Yeah.
photography workshop about the video side of things.
Interesting. Yeah, that's good.
Mm,
And it's interesting just talking about that as well, Tom, because we enjoyed when you do these podcasts and we talk to various photographers. We learn
yeah,
something new all the time from just people's way of looking at things, and especially myself, I'm quite young at this game in regards to building myself from YouTube and starting to get to a place I want to be. Um, so that's good information for myself, and also good information for people watching the channel. And guys, as you know, this channel is dedicated to more people who are actually starting off in photography,
mm.
and just to learn from the people they watch. So yeah,
Yeah.
guys, we've kind of gone a bit late tonight. It's no surprise for me, my podcasts, of course, because they're always late. But guys, have you any questions before we start wrapping up there?
No, not from me. I think we've covered everything. As far as I'm
Yeah, and
concerned.
Alistair?
I'm fine. I got my question in. I'm happy. Yeah.
No worries. Yeah, we've pretty much got everything out we need to ask you. And I really enjoyed this podcast, Tom, and we'll always ask if you'll come on at another time just to sit in. We've got Adam Gibbs and Mads coming on the next. It's like start of March.
Oh wow, nice.
So that's two big names we've got in, and also we've got Chris Sale coming on.
Oh yeah,
Julian.
bed.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah,
So we're trying to build up this podcast and get it to the place I
yeah,
want it to be. It's dedicated to landscape photography, and it's just mainly to motivate people to hear the story of the photographer and what motivated them and what they do as a living and how they get to do what they're doing as well.
mm.
So that I think we all want to hear the background story of what the person behind the camera doing YouTube.
Yeah,
A lot of podcasts just now are good, but there's different types of podcasts out there, and they all offer something different. So I thought go down this road and try to focus more just on the photography aspect itself.
yeah. It'd be interesting to see
Great,
how
yeah.
what about Chris. Chris is me and Chris has got. Well, we was really good friends at one point. We did run workshops together and that. And
All right, okay,
Chris
yeah,
has got
Chris, yeah.
Chris has got an amazing story. Yeah,
Yeah, we're looking forward to. I think it was Doug getting in contact with him actually.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
no, not me. He probably said, "Who are you?" Right, just some guy. I just want to contact YouTube. Give me your autograph. No, not at all.
Just said
Yeah,
he was
I
happy
mean,
if it was me and Darren involved. They couldn't care less about the others, but me and Darren, You want to tell us, Tom, where we can find you on social media?
Yeah, good point.
Well, I've changed my name now. I've dropped the ninja, so it's just my name, Tom Peters Photography.
Oh yeah, it's been a while since
Yeah,
you've changed
so
it.
it'll be
Yeah, I
that's
wasn't
on
aware of Photo Ninja.
Instagram, Facebook, and then my website is tompetersphotography.co.uk. It's a bit of a long one, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a bit. Well, Photo Ninja, of course. I remember the little guy, the icon with the.
Yeah,
It's cool.
I've still got the head in there just for a little nod, but yeah, I've grown up now. I've got to drop the ninja.
yeah. I was like, I call myself Ember Photo Guy at one point years ago, 2016 it was.
Well, that was
so
you.
pretentious. That was me. Yeah, that was me. Yeah, that was me. And I dropped that because my missus like, don't call yourself Ember Photo Guy. I was like, I'll call myself photographer fat guy. How's that? Anyway, no, yeah. But yeah, when you get like, you get these things on Facebook when you get like memories coming up, and you'll see like an old logo you used to have, and you don't want to put. It's got an amazing picture comes up. You're like, oh, I can't post that. It's got the logo. It's got the logo on it. I can't use it. I absolutely hate that. I've got because most of my good stuff was pretty much 3 or 4 years ago. Now I don't get out as much as I used to. But yeah. So guys, thanks again for watching another edition of Landscape Lenscast. That's now episode 8, and we've enjoyed our chat with Tom Peters tonight. I hope you've learned a few things as well, talking about woodland photography. It's a very difficult niche, and it can be quite daunting for someone who's actually going out in the field and photographing trees. But hopefully, watching this podcast tonight, you've seen the wood from the trees. And yeah, we'll hopefully get Tom back on the show again. Doug's nodding his head there, and too right. And guys, thanks for watching, of course, and also, of course, just to say thanks to Doug Milne, of course, and Alistair McDonald. And Alistair, of course, thanks for coming on tonight at short notice. Tom, like to see you back on again. Would you like to come on again?
Yeah, definitely. Anytime. You just drop me a message on WhatsApp and I'll be on, mate. No worries.
Great. See if you said no there, I'll be like, I'll still keep it in, No, I'm like, you just get a big silence, like embarrassing silence.
No, thanks for having me on. It's an honor to come on and be asked to do something.
That's been a pleasure. And
yeah, I wish you all the best, and I'm sure you lot will fly. So yeah, thanks.
Great.
Thanks again.
That'll be an achievement if we can. Yeah. Thanks again. So anyway, guys, have a good evening, and see you again. And of course, I look forward to see your pictures in the future, Tom, as well.
And maybe a video if I get my
Oh yeah. And just to see if I can get a bit exclusive here. Any videos coming out soon or anything?
What day are we today? It's Friday. Wednesday. Next Wednesday.
Hey, look, you heard it here first on Landscape. Who do I think I am? It's not if it's like GFTV or anything,
So that'll be a case of, you released one on Wednesday, did you, Tom?
Yeah,
because that was Wednesday.
Did I say what Wednesday it was? I can't.
Yeah, we're trying to pretend, but we're actually doing it on the Friday when we release it. But
honest gov, it's live.
Yeah, them live. Anyway, guys, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. From Paul, myself, Doug, Alistair, and Tom. Cheery, bye.
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 See you later.